From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Jill Rio.
Still tracking rain across central New York, but the good news is the rain is going to be tapering off as we head into the morning hours. A live look at our CAV tower cam. Notice it's shaking a bit. The wind has picked up over the last hour or so, so to expect breezy conditions as well for this morning. Just into the Weather Center, we do have a flood warning for the Mohawk River at the Delta Dam. This is from 10 a.m. this morning through early Saturday morning. The Mohawk River is expected to crest to near that flood stage as we head towards tonight into early tomorrow morning before beginning to recede. So just pass that information along. It's not a flash flood warning. It's just a flood warning for the Mohawk River at the Delta Dam. As we go throughout the day, steady rain is going to taper off. Just a few lingering showers this afternoon and drying out as we head towards Friday. On our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, tracking some steady rain north of Rome as you head up closer towards Boonville, as well as parts of Ava, heading up towards Forestport. Again, this heavy rain is pushing to the north, heading up towards Boonville and Old Forge. Behind it, we're going to begin to dry out, which is some great news. Already beginning to see some drier conditions back towards Shenango and Otsego counties for this morning. As we go throughout the morning hours, again, rain will be tapering off. So as we head towards this afternoon, evening, drying out by 5 p.m., mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 70s. We'll stay dry as we head towards tonight into tomorrow morning. We're going to try and squeeze in a little bit of sunshine as we go throughout Friday afternoon, with temperatures warming up into the mid-80s across the region. So again, rain is tapering off for this morning, drying out as we head towards this afternoon and into the evening hours. Mostly cloudy conditions tonight will drop back into the upper 60s. And taking a look at the rest of your forecast, mix of sun and clouds for tomorrow. Temperatures in the mid-80s. Just an isolated thunderstorm possible as we head towards Saturday and Sunday. Katrina?
Thank you, Jill. The Utica.
The time is 5:21. We're saying good morning to Sangerfield and all the greater Utica region. There's a bumblebee hard at work trying to get that pollen right there. Of course, dealing with the elements of the rain. The good news is the rain will be coming to an end this morning. That steady rain is going to be pushing to the north and east, so the weather is going to improve as we go throughout the morning hours, which finally is some good news for the Herkimer County Fair. They haven't had the best luck with weather so far, but they're going to see just a few showers as we head towards this afternoon. Nothing compared to what we saw during the overnight and into this morning. Now, speaking of that rain, still tracking some of that moderate to heavy rain up towards Boonville, heading into Lewis County as well as into northern Herkimer County. The rain is tapering off for the Mohawk Valley and for the southern valleys for this morning, so do expect improving conditions as we go throughout today. We'll look at that morning commute forecast coming up. Katrina?
Thank you, Jill. The 53rd annual American of Tropical Depression Fred has caused widespread damage, as you can see in western North Carolina. Town of Canton, which is near Asheville, flooding cut a wide swath of damage, undercutting foundations of buildings, leaving roofs on the muddy ground, and taking out trees, washing out roads. Cars heaved from parking areas, some overturned. Long-haul truck trailers were toppled outside one facility. Several mobile homes were taken out by a mudslide. A school was flooded as rushing water pushed a part of a wall and covered the parking lot. Now, the Northeast could be in for some heavy rain and wind. Some forecast models show Tropical Storm Henri headed this way or that way, potentially reaching hurricane strength by Friday morning. Coming up a little later, Jill is tracking the path of Henri. The appellate court has
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Jill Rio.
Tracking rain across the region for this morning. That steady rain will be tapering off within the next hour or so, so that is some good news. We do have a flood warning, though. We'll pass along to that in a second. But first, a live look at our CAV tower cam. Not seeing too much for this morning, shaking quite a bit. Now, we do have a flood warning, a river flood warning for the Mohawk River at the Delta Dam. This will begin at 10 a.m. this morning, continuing into early Saturday morning. And that's when the river is expected to be close to flood stage at the Delta Dam for the Mohawk River, again, later on for today. We're also tracking some steady rain Across the North Country for this morning, just had reports of some flooding on Route 365 in Trenton. That steady rain will taper off with a few showers as we head towards this afternoon and then drying out as we head towards Friday. So there's the heavy rain right now, right along the Lewis County, Oneida County border up across the North Country, heading closer towards Boonville. We are seeing that pockets of some heavy rain along Route 46 as well as Route 12. Just north of Trenton now, heading up towards Forestport. This rain will be pushing to the north and to the east as we go throughout the morning hours. So you can see drier conditions to our south and west. So again, the weather is going to be improving as we go throughout the morning, drying out, but with a few lingering showers as we head towards this afternoon. So all that moisture will push to the north and to the east. By noon, a few scattered showers across the region. By 5 p.m., drying out with temperatures in the 70s across the area. So do expect steady rain to continue this morning, tapering off this afternoon with temperatures in the 70s. Tonight, quiet weather, mostly cloudy skies. Will drop back into the upper 60s. And taking a look at the rest of your forecast for tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds, quiet weather for the start of the New York State Fair with partly sunny skies. We'll see a few thunderstorms as we head towards the weekend. I'll have an update on Tropical Storm Henri coming up. Katrina?
Thank you, Jill. State Police.
The time is 5:51. While we are dealing with the leftovers from Tropical Storm Fred, we're also keeping an eye on Tropical Storm Henri, which right now has winds of 70 miles per hour as it is just to the south of Bermuda. Now, why are we tracking the storm? Well, it's what happens after as it heads to the north and to the east. It looks like it's going to be close to impacting areas of New England, including Boston, as well potentially Rhode Island, heading towards Long Island as we head towards this weekend into early next week. You're going to hear a lot about this in the national news over the next couple of days, and we are going to keep a close eye on the track as it does become a hurricane as we head into tomorrow morning. Closer to home, steady rain for this morning will be tapering off. So I know we are dealing with some moderate rainfall, especially across northern Oneida County this morning. That is going to dissipate and the weather is going to improve to some scattered showers as we head towards this afternoon. Look at that morning commute forecast coming up. Katrina?
Why, thank you, Joe. The Department of Environmental.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Jill Real.
We are tracking some flash flooding across parts of central New York. First, a quick look at our CAV tower cam as we are dealing with rain across the region. But this just into the Weather Center on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We do have a flash flood warning. This is for northern parts of Oneida County. We are talking about Rome as well as Westernville up towards Boonville as we are tracking that flash flooding. We've had numerous reports of roads being covered with water. We're also having reports of River Road in Western that all residents need to evacuate to higher ground if you do live in River Road in Western at this point in time. Again, this location has seen some heavy rain over the last hour or so, and that rain is going to taper off, but at this point in time, the ground is so saturated that there is nowhere for that water to evaporate at this point in time. So again, we do have a flash flood warning until 9:15 this morning. This includes Camden, especially for Western. Rome up towards Boonville, Trenton. We've also had reports of roads being flooded in Trenton. So again, if you do live in this location, definitely want to keep a close eye on your surroundings as that water level continues to rise. Again, we do have that flash flood warning for northern Oneida County. This does not include Utica. This does not include Whitesboro. This is Western as well as Camden up towards Boonville, Trenton. This is the area of concern for this afternoon, for this morning. But as we head towards this afternoon, that rain is going to taper off, so that is some good news. So as we put the map into motion, you will see that these showers will be lifting to the north and to the east, but we are still dealing with that heavy rain across northern parts of Oneida County. Again, just want to reiterate, we do have a flash flood warning for northern Oneida County. This does not include Whitesboro. This does not include Utica. It does include Rome as well as Western up towards Boonville, Trenton, Remsen, Camden as well. Again, we have numerous reports of roads being flooded at this point in time. I'm going to iron out some details and give you more information coming up. Katrina?
Thank you so much, Jill. And we do have a picture of Northwestern. This is River Road in Northwestern. Now, residents there are being told to evacuate to higher ground. Now, this is something that happened just last month for the residents living here, so a familiar scene. Fire crews are on scene. State DOT is also in the know as far as flooding on Route 46 in that area as well. So we're hearing several reports of flooded roadways this morning. Here are more that we reported at the top of the hour. Route 365 in Trenton, Mayor Trailer Park, Route 12 in Kirkland near Calvin Place, Route 46 in Western, Route 274 in Carmichael Hill Road, and then what you just saw the photo of there, the rising waters there in Northwestern. And of course, that is along River Road. We'll continue to follow this for you. We're also tracking some power outages around the region, and we'll get some numbers for you as far as those power outages go as well. Switching gears.
The time is 6:22. We are saying good morning to Sangerfield and all of the greater Utica region. Now, as we go throughout this morning, we do have very important information to pass along to you. We do have that flash flood warning that has been issued for northern parts of Oneida County. Again, this does include areas like Rome as well as up towards Boonville. It does not include Whitesboro. It does not include Utica. Our area of concern, I'm going to zoom in for you, is northern Oneida County. Now, this flash flood warning is in effect until 9:15 this morning. This is the area that is very saturated with rain. They saw between 1 to 3 inches of rain on Tuesday. On top of that, they've seen additional rain, heavy at times throughout the overnight. And at this point, the ground just can't take it anymore. So we are dealing with some very heavy rain right now. Up towards Boonville, we are seeing heavy rain along Route 12 as you head towards West Leiden. We're also seeing heavy rain as you head towards Woodgate and Route 28 as you head into northeastern parts of Oneida County. Now, our biggest concern as well is Western. We've had reports of water rescue on River Road in Western. There's also an evacuation in order for River Road in Western. Trenton 365 also reports of flooding as well. So this is our area of concern for this morning. That flash flood warning is in effect until 9:15. Again, if you do live in this location, be aware of your surroundings. Keep an eye on water levels over the next couple of hours. Katrina?
Thank you, Joe. We'll have updates on Stern, where a reverse 911 call went out early this morning. Residents are urged to evacuate to higher ground. We have Fire Chief in the Town of Western Fire Department, Mike Anania, live on the phone right now. Mike, what can you tell us about the situation there?
Good morning, Katrina. Good morning. Obviously, we're out on River Road right now with a water rescue. There's a couple of residents there that house is surrounded by water. It's still rising throughout the town. We have couple trees down. Several flooded roads that are impassable, and right now the rescue's going on in progress.
Okay, and so you have other resources there that are helping out as well, correct?
Not at this time. I have our fire department is doing it right now. If anything gets any worse, then we'll probably be calling in for more resources.
Is there any message that you want to get out to people who are in that area or in the area that are surrounding, you know, the town of Western, so that they aren't traveling through the area where the water rescues are happening and the high waters are?
We did a reverse 911 for the areas that we have concern with. We're in the process of blocking the roads off, and we're working hand in hand with the town of Western. And so right now, everything's, I don't want to say under control, but we're able to basically take care of all the needs that we have right now by our own department with the town. If anything gets any worse, we'll probably be calling in state fire to assist us.
Okay, thank you so much, Fire Chief Mike Anania in the town of Western. We'll check in with you throughout the day. Stay safe.
Take care, Katrina. Bye.
Thank you. Power outages in Marcy, Deerfield, Trenton. Customers affected, 668 total. Their estimated restoration time is 9:16 this morning. And we have some flooded roadways to report to you. These are the ones that we told you about at the top of the hour. Route 365 in Trenton, Mayor Trailer Park. Route 12, Kirkland, near Calvin Place. Route 46 in the town of Western. 274 in Carmichael Hill Road as well. What's left of the tropical depression Fred has caused widespread damage in western North Carolina. In the town near Canton, near Asheville, flooding cut a wide swath of damage, undercutting the foundations of buildings, leaving muddy ground. Now, cars heaved from parking areas, some overturned. Long-haul trailers were toppled outside one facility. Several mobile homes were taken out by a mudslide. A school was flooded as rushing waters pushed part of a wall and covered the parking lot. The Northeast could be in for heavy rain and some wind. Some forecast models show Tropical Storm Henri headed that way, potentially reaching hurricane strength by Friday morning. Coming up a little later on, Jill was tracking the path of Henri, if we have time to get to that this morning. Meantime, the appellate court has again...
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Jill Rio.
We are tracking that rain and the flooding across central New York for this morning. A live look at our CAV tower cam. We are seeing the cloud cover and the rain right here on Smith Hill. But I'm going to focus in on that flash flood warning that has been issued. It was issued about 20 minutes ago for northern parts of Oneida County. And I want to zoom in first to show you that it does not include Utica. It does not include Whitesboro. I am keeping a close eye on the Sequoia Creek in Whitesboro. It is high at this point in time, but there is no flooding in Whitesboro at this hour. Our biggest concern is across central and northern parts of Oneida County, especially in western. Now, we've had reports of evacuations in western along River Road, as well as a water rescue in western on River Road. We've also had reports of flooding on Route 365 in Trenton, as well as numerous outside roads within this area. Again, the area shaded in that red is where that flash flood warning has been issued, and you can see on our Storm Tracker 2, a Doppler radar, that there is still some moderate rain for parts of Camden, as well as, unfortunately, western up towards Westernville. Even Boonville is also seeing some pockets of some heavy rain. So if you do live in these locations and you do not have to go out, I highly recommend staying home, staying off the roads at this point in time. If you do see water on roads, we always say don't drown, turn around. You do not want to drive over water-covered roads across the region. Again, we do have that flash flood warning for northern and central parts of Oneida County, including Rome, Western, Remsen, Trenton, Boonville, until 9:15 this morning. I'm keeping a close eye on those water levels and the rain across the region. Now, the rain will be tapering off this afternoon, but at this point in time, our biggest concern is that flash flood warning. Again, that will be until 9:15 for this morning across central New York. As we go throughout the rest of today, again, that rain will be tapering off across the region. We will see, again, rain throughout the morning hours, but that is going to be tapering off as we head towards this afternoon and into the evening hours. So our biggest concern, again, will be this morning with improving conditions this afternoon. Just one more time before we go to Katrina, we do have that flash flood warning that has been issued for northern parts of Oneida County until 9:15. Katrina?
Thank you so much, Jill. I'd like to apologize for the audio issue when we try to get you the most up-to-date information on the flooding situation in Northwestern. So what we know now from the fire chief is the situation here is there was a reverse 911 call that went out to residents living in the area of River Road earlier this morning, telling all residents there to evacuate and seek higher ground. A water rescue was happening. It appeared, according to 911, that it was at 9346 River Road in the town of Western, near Stokes Westernville Road and Quaker Hill Road. Now, we've just checked in with our crew that was headed to the scene there, and they said that they saw emergency vehicles headed back toward Hillside, which, as you remember from a few weeks back, was the area that was flooded and a bridge was washed out in the last round of flooding in Northwestern. So we will continue to follow up on this, but there are now potentially numerous water rescues going on in that area. We'll continue to check in with our crews and emergency crews that are on the scene. Town of Western Fire Department, no stranger to this type of scene, having dealt with those water rescues last month. And again, we're just hearing now that there could be more water rescues in that same area. Again, we'll have a crew headed there. We'll bring you pictures and updates throughout the morning. You want to really avoid those areas altogether if you can, because the roads and the grounds are extremely saturated. Power outages are another story in Marcy, Deerfield, and Trenton. Customers affected here. This is a look at that area, 278. Their estimated restoration time for their power to get back on is after 9 o'clock this morning. Now, the outage covers, again, much of Morgan Road, Glass Factory Road in Deerfield, and Marcy. Time now is 6:48.
The time is 6:51. Again, just want to pass on the latest information. We do have that flash flood warning in effect for central and northern parts of Oneida County. This does not include Utica. This does not include Whitesboro. It is pretty much Rome and points north. This is in effect until 9:15 this morning. What has happened over the last couple of hours, there's been a band of very heavy rain sitting over northern parts of Oneida County, which is already saturated from the rain that we saw on Tuesday and last night. And at this point in time, there's nowhere for the water to go, so it's continuing to rise. So we do have that flash flood warning again for northern parts and central parts of Oneida County, including Rome, as well as western, as well as Boonville, Ava, Camden. These are the areas of concern. You can see that deeper red showing up as well as yellow, indicating some moderate to heavy rain. This does include Boonville, West Leyden, as well as up towards Woodgate. We're also concerned about western, where there is a water rescue going on right now, as well as evacuations along River Road. They've seen very heavy rain over the last couple of hours. Again, we do have that flash flood warning in effect for Rome, Western, Westernville, Camden, Ava, Boonville until 9:15 this morning. Again, it does not include Utica or Whitesboro at this point in time. Katrina?
Thank you so much, Jill. We'll continue to update. Call going out to residents living in the area of River Road. This is the picture we have so far this morning. Crews are very busy in that area. That reverse 911 call went out to residents telling them to evacuate and seek higher ground. A scary situation for residents in that area who have been no stranger to this. Some have told me that every time it rains now, they just are ready and know that this could be the case. The water rescue this morning took place 9346 River Road, we're told, in the town of Western, near Stokes Westernville Road and Quaker Hill Road. Our crews on the scene there tell us that rescue crews and emergency crews were then headed toward Hillside, which, as you remember from last month, is the area that was flooded out and had a bridge washed out. So again, those residents on edge, evacuations underway, water rescues underway in that area. And as soon as we hear from our crews that are in that area, we will give you updates on the situation there. We did speak with the town of Western Fire Department, the fire chief, again, no stranger to this, telling us about the situation there. The early morning call and watching those water levels rising throughout those overnight hours as that rain continued to fall. We'll continue to follow you up and update you on that situation. I'll look at a map to show you where that rescue is happening. It's right there in that area. You see just off 46, just north of Westernville. We're also getting reports, Jill's getting reports from her sky watchers about rising waters out in the Verona Beach area. So we'll be following up on that situation there. Now, if you have any photos, if you have time to take photos, of course, your safety comes first. You can send those photos to news@wktv.com. But again, safety comes first. If you're in a situation, you have to get out of that situation first. Several road reports of flooding in other areas, according to the state DOT. There's a report of flooding at Route 26 in Lee between Stokes Elementary School to Stokes Corners. Oneida County 911 is reporting Stony Creek is rising near Route 31 in the town of Verona, and there is water already forming on the shoulder there. There are also reports of flooding on Route 26 and Weaver Road in the town of Lee, and we're told that residents there have been notified, so that's another potential area for evacuation. And possible flooding on Route 294 and East Ava Road in the town of Boonville. As that list continues to grow, as areas are taken off of that list, we will continue to update you on that throughout much of the morning. Power outages in Marcy and Deerfield, as well as Trenton. There are close to 300 people affected here. It is expected your power will be restored around 9 o'clock this morning, according to National Grid. The outage, as you can see from this map, covers much of Morgan Road, Glass Factory Road in Deerfield, as well as Marcy. Now, this is what's left of Depression Fred, but this is what it caused as it headed through western North Carolina. In the town of Canton near Asheville, flooding cut a wide swath of damage, undercutting the foundations of buildings there and leaving roofs on the muddy ground, taking out trees, washing out roads as well. Cars heaved from parking areas, some overturned. Long-haul truck trailers were toppled outside one facility. Several mobile homes were taken out by a mudslide. A school was flooded and water rushed in, pushing part of a wall and covering the parking lot. Northeast could be in for more heavy rain and wind. Some forecast models are showing Tropical Storm Henri is headed that way, potentially reaching a hurricane strength by Friday morning. Now we're tracking that as well, but the important part that we're tracking this morning is what is left of Fred and what it's doing to our area now. President Joe Biden is officially.
The time is 7:14. We do have that flash flood warning in effect for parts of Oneida County. This does include Rome as well as Western, Lee, Camden, Sylvan Beach, Verona Beach, up towards Boonville. Again, this is until 9:15 for this morning. This area has seen steady, heavy rain throughout the overnight, and the water has quickly gone up over the last couple of hours. So again, we do have that flash flood warning for parts of northern Oneida County. All that heavy rain now lifting to the north and to the east. We are seeing some breaks in the action down towards Binghamton, so the weather is going to improve today. But first, we're going to be keeping an eye on those water levels up across northern Oneida County for this morning. Katrina?
Thank you so much, Jill. We're trying to get that updated information to you. Roads to watch, according to State DOT, of course, River Street, Oriskany Route 291 as well, Mohawk Street in Whitesboro, North Genesee Street, and Wurz Ave in Utica. I experienced that earlier this morning, and there was a lot of ponding on the roadway there, and the rain has continued to fall, so I'm sure that it has only gotten worse. So if you are heading out this morning, just take it easy, take it slow, and be aware that there could be flooding and ponding on many area roadways. We'll get you to the very latest in the town of Western and other areas that are experiencing flooding this morning. Meantime, 53rd Annual American.
The time is 7:19. Again, we're still tracking that flash flood warning for northern parts of Oneida County as we take a live look at our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Now, we put the radar into motion just to show you that the rain is continuing to push to the north and to the east, so the weather will be improving as we go throughout the morning hours. But we still have that flash flood warning for northern parts of Oneida County, including Rome as well as Westernville, Camden, as well as Trenton and Boonville. Again, there's still some pockets of some heavier rain up towards Boonville. As you head closer towards West Leiden and into Herkimer County, you know those pockets of yellow indicating some moderate to heavy rain. Now, this rain is still steady for that specific area, but as we go throughout the morning into the afternoon, we will begin to see some drier air move in. The less intense rain is off to our west, which is some good news. The conditions are going to improve as we go throughout the morning into the afternoon hours. So by this evening, we do dry out, which is also some good news with temperatures in the 70s. We'll look at the rest of your forecast coming up. Katrina?
Thank you, Jill. Now the very latest information for you. We just got a message from State DOT. Route 26 in the town of Lee is now closed due to flooding in that area. Very latest information in the town of Western. There's a tree down along Route 46. There's another tree down on Harris Road in the town of Lee. There are reports of flooding along Stokes Westernville Road in the town of Western. A reverse 911 call went out earlier this morning for residents living in the area of River Road. And this is where the town of Western fire crews were this morning. Residents were urged to evacuate and seek higher ground. The water rescue this morning taking place at 9346 River Road earlier this morning in the town of Western. That's near Stokes Westernville Road and Quaker Hill Road. But then our crews on the scene say there was a shift to Hillside. And Hillside, you may remember, is the area where they saw severe flooding, evacuations, even a bridge washed out last month. So as soon as we get that information clarified, we will confirm that and we will get that information out to you. But what we do know is there was a reverse 911 call. There were several evacuations in that area. And also the latest information from State DOT is that a portion of Route 26 in the town of Lee is now closed. So look at the map showing you where that rescue was happening. I also want to tell you about some road flooding issues from State DOT that we've gotten throughout the morning. So there were several areas that they wanted you to look out for. River Street and Oriskany, Route 291, Mohawk Street in Whitesboro, North Genesee Street and Wurz Ave in Utica. Very prone when the Mohawk River crests. Power outages to report to you in Marcy, Deerfield, Trenton. There are about 300 people affected there. Their estimated restoration time is a little after 9 o'clock this morning. It covers much of Morgan Road, Glass Factory Road in Deerfield, and Marcy. We'll continue to update you throughout the morning. We'll check in with Jill as well right after break.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Jill Rio.
Tracking that flash flood warning for northern parts of Oneida County for this morning. A live look at our CAV tower cam. Again, we are dealing with low-lying clouds across central New York as well as that rain. Live look at our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. There is where that flash flood warning is. Again, this is until 9:15 this morning. This does include Rome as well as Camden, Boonville, Trenton, Remsen, up towards Western and Westernville, and into parts of Florence, Verona Beach, and Sylvan Beach. Again, these showers continuing to make their way to the north. The heaviest rain right along the border of Lewis and Oneida County. These showers, again, right along Route 12, Route 28, as well as Route 26. So if you are living in this area, definitely want to stay home if possible. If not, be careful of flood-covered roadways as you go throughout the morning. These showers will continue to push off to the north and to the east, so improving conditions as we go throughout the morning into the afternoon hours. Showers around for this morning. Those showers, again, will be dissipating as we head towards this afternoon, with temperatures in the 70s across the region. And taking a look at the rest of your forecast, again, showers throughout the morning hours will continue tapering off as we head towards this afternoon, with temperatures in the mid-70s. We do dry out for Friday, which is some very good news. A mix of sun and clouds with temperatures in the mid-80s across the region. And then a few thunderstorms possible as we head towards Saturday and for Sunday, with temperatures staying in the 80s.
Good morning, I'm Katrina Smith. Let's take a look at the latest situation we're following for you around the region when it comes to flooding. 911, reverse 911 call went out to residents living in the area of River Road this morning, telling residents to evacuate and seek higher ground. Water rescue this morning took place along River Road, town of Western, near Stokes Westernville Road and Quaker Hill Road. Now, we've just learned from State DOT that a portion of Route 26 in the town of Lee is closed, we believe due to flooding this morning. We're trying to get an exact area as to where that is, but again, we did report earlier this morning Route 26 near Stokes Elementary School had flooding there. Stony Creek and Route 31 in Verona, Route 26 in Weaver Road in Lee, 294 and East Ava Road in Boonville. Let's get over to Jill.
And we do have that flash flood warning in effect for northern parts of Oneida County. This does include Rome as well as Boonville, Remsen, Trenton, Western, as well as Verona Beach and Camden. Again, this flash flood warning is in effect until 9:15 this morning. The area around that red area is where there has been flooding across the region. The showers will be winding down as we head towards this afternoon, with temperatures staying in the 70s. Quiet weather as we head into tonight.
Joining us for News Channel 2 at noon, we begin with communities dealing with flooding. The town of Western may have seen the worst of it just a month after getting hit with that EF1 tornado, and then shortly after that, water evacuations. This morning, once again, a number of people had to be rescued from their homes. News Channel 2's Gary Liberatore begins our coverage. He joins us now with town of Western's fire chief. Gary, good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon, Katrina. We are here with Chief Mike Anania from the Town of Western Fire Department. Thanks for your time. And first off, what time did you guys start getting called out?
We started receiving calls about 5:30 this morning, which was a godsend because due to all the rain, we kind of knew the areas that flood in our community. And so we were kind of alerted to what areas maybe we had to do water rescues.
And you had to do one,
we
right?
had to do like 3 or 4 of them. River Road and Hillside Road, we had to do 5 or 6 evacuations and stuff. At one point, it got kind of dicey for us, where we had to start a state fire to come in, and then we were able to handle it, so that we did cancel them en route. And then one house on River Road, a building is basically got swept into the roadway. And so we've been pretty busy this morning.
And what kind of damage are you seeing other than that one house?
There were some buildings where trees had fallen on them. The one, they got flooded. There's some flooded cellars and basements and stuff. We got broken telephone poles again. And due to the tornado that we had maybe a month ago, you know, the roots are kind of damaged or compromised, so I think it doesn't take much for them to fall.
And how are things going? I mean, you just went through this a month ago.
We're getting to be a pro at it.
Yeah, sadly, right?
Right. You know, and I got a great bunch of guys and girls that are stepping up, and without them, we couldn't do what we do. And we did an awesome job, and, you know, we're prepared for it.
Good. Chief, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right. And Katrina, obviously, we're going to have much more for you from here in Western tonight at 5 and 6. In the town of Western, Gary Liberatore, News Channel 2.
Here's meteorologist Jill Real.
Now this morning, the flooding there caused by a flash flood or rapidly rising water. Now we're on to just a flood warning. Now this is when you get all the runoff from all the rain that we did see throughout the overnight into this morning, causing rivers and streams to begin to rise. And we do have that flood warning for all of Oneida County into Lewis County and Madison County until later on this afternoon. So even though there is not a flash flood warning, there still is a flood warning across the area for slow rising water. Again, we'll continue for this afternoon. On our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2, steady light rain is continuing across central New York. This rain is slowly pushing off to the east, and as it does, we will begin to dry out as we head towards this afternoon and into the evening hours. If you are traveling to the east, be aware that the rain will be following you all afternoon and evening long. So again, rain will subside for today. Temperatures will stay in the 70s, sunshine and drying out for tomorrow. Look at that forecast coming up. Katrina?
Thank you so much, Jill. When our crews tried to pass through Stokes Westernville Road heading toward the town of Lee, there were entire yards of homes underwater. Portions of roadways were also underwater in at least 3 spots during the heaviest of the rain. I want to take you really quick, get you a live look at the Sequoia Creek live webcam. We took a live look earlier this morning. Now you can see the water level is high there in the Sequoia Creek in Whitesboro. Now, while it does look high, Town Supervisor Sean Coletta earlier today says the heaviest rain missed Whitestown and Whitesboro this morning. I'm told the county executive was there just before noon. You'll hear from him tonight during the Live at 5 News Hour and News Channel 2 at 6. We'll be monitoring that throughout the day as well. A few traffic alerts for you. River Street now has all lanes blocked between Route 69 and Oriskany Road in the village of Oriskany. State DOT crews tell us they're watching the water levels, and they're watching also Route 291, Mohawk Street and Genesee Street for the possibility of flooding throughout the day today. Another road closure to tell you about, Route 26 and the West Leyden between East Ava Road and the Lewis County line. All lanes are blocked in both directions there as well. Crews are on the scene. Earlier this morning, there were reports of water on the road there, and the water is not receding. Later today, we expect to get pictures of the Delta Dam area. Now, there is a flood warning issued for the Mohawk River at the Delta Dam until early Saturday morning. And as Jill has said, the flash flood watch, Fulton, Hamilton, Herkimer, as well as Montgomery counties, lasts through 8 o'clock tonight. Rescue and emergency crews in Camden headed to a report of a washed out wall at a home early this morning. Our crews tell us they were not able to get close to the home and that it was on the other side of the home. The road that leads to the home was washed out, so it was tricky to get close to the scene there. People who lived there had to be evacuated. Yeah. Time now is 12:06. Still ahead, we'll take you to the nation's capital where police are probing reports of an explosive truck outside the Library of Congress. Also, take you to Indiana where dozens of train cars are piled up after a derailment there. Was anyone hurt?
You're watching from Central New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Jill Real.
Still tracking some rain across parts of central New York as we go throughout the afternoon hours. A live look at our CAV tower cam. Again, dealing with light rain rather than that moderate to heavy rain that we were seeing earlier this morning. But we still have that flood warning just to pass along to you for this afternoon. Again, a flood warning for the entire county of Oneida County as well as Madison County. This is different than a flash flood warning where the water rapidly rises. This is not the case. This has to do with the runoff from all the rain that we did see throughout the overnight into this morning. Could create some of those streams and creeks to rise a bit. So you want to keep a close eye on that situation. Again, that goes until this afternoon. But our flash flood watches have expired across the region, as we are not expecting that heavy rain for this afternoon into the evening hours. That steady rain is going to taper off for this afternoon with a few afternoon showers. Then we're finally going to begin to dry out as we head towards tonight and into Friday. On our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, tracking again some light rain as you head into parts of central Oneida County from Rome down towards Kirkland, New Hartford, Verona, into Utica and Marcy. We're also seeing some pockets of some light to moderate rain right down towards Morris, heading towards Gilbertsville, getting closer towards Oneonta. Again, these showers are pushing off to the east with what is left over from Tropical Storm Fred. Behind it, mostly cloudy skies. So some drier air is going to push in later on this afternoon and into the evening hours. Now, if you are traveling to the east, you're going to be following what's left of Fred continuing into New England. They're seeing some very heavy rain right now in Boston, as well as up into New Hampshire and Vermont. This is all going to push to the east as we head towards tonight. Now, for closer to home, drying out as we head it towards this evening. Still a few showers by 5 p.m. and then we'll quiet things down as we head it towards the overnight. So by midnight, mostly cloudy skies. A little bit of fog to start for tomorrow morning, as we will have some low-level moisture across the region. Any cloud cover throughout the morning hours will give way to sunshine as we head towards Friday afternoon. By noon, we're already in the upper 70s. We'll top off in the mid-80s as we head towards Friday afternoon and into Friday evening. Still going to be a bit humid as well. It's going to feel a lot like summer as we head towards the end of the work week with more in the way of some sunshine. So again, showers that are around right now will be tapering off as we head throughout the afternoon hours. Just a few sprinkles throughout the afternoon into the evening. Temperatures will be staying in the low to mid 70s. Now for tonight, quiet weather throughout the overnight. Some fog will develop as we head into tomorrow morning. So just be aware that you could have reduced visibility as you head out the door for tomorrow morning, with temperatures dropping back into the 60s. Taking a look at the rest of your forecast as we head towards tomorrow. Again, a mix of sun and clouds, a great start for the New York State Fair. It's going to be warm, though, with temperatures staying in the mid-80s across the region. We do run the risk for a few thunderstorms as we head towards Saturday and for Sunday, with temperatures staying in the mid-80s. And speaking of Sunday, we're going to keep a close eye on the track of Tropical Storm Henri. We'll have details on that track coming up. Katrina?
Thank you, Jill. Following breaking news this afternoon.
I'm Jason Paulus. The video shows a lot. Recovery is the word of the summer in Westernville. A tornado, then flooding. And today, early this morning, evacuations because of water rising again.
WKTV.com right now for a list of the roads that are still closed because of the flooding. The rain is tapering off, but the potential for damage is not done. At the Delta Dam, the Mohawk River is cresting right now. It's already surpassed the level set in 2004. Now, according to the National Weather Service, that's led to a flood warning. Again, Delta Dam right now is cresting.
And take a look at what's happening right now in the city of Rome. This is River Street. True to its name, the Mohawk River is now flooding the street, which has been closed now. It looks pretty deep, too. A reminder, never enter flooded roadways, as you don't know if the pavement has been washed out below. Let's get you right over the Weather Center right now. Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis is tracking it all right now.
Yeah, our alert day continues as we follow the water as it moves into larger bodies. So that is where the flooding is taking place late this afternoon and this evening. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Scattered showers continue. And again, flooding taking place this evening in larger bodies of water, specifically at Delta Dam, hitting a historic crest, not only surpassing 2004, but reaching the highest level at this location in recorded history, which goes back decades. It is more than 2 feet above flood stage and cresting at the moment. It will start to subside as we go forward, and it will fall below flood stage, expected to fall below flood stage on Saturday. It's a different situation at the West Canada Creek at Hinckley. There's no flood warnings here, but I want to point out that while this is 2.5 feet below flood stage, we're expecting the West Canada Creek to rise to near flood stage over the next 24 to 48 hours. So not any big problems there, but don't be surprised if, again, some of those bigger bodies of water start to rise pretty rapidly here over the next 24 hours. Current temperature is 78 degrees, Heading into this evening, we're still dealing with some drizzle and fog, but the heavy rain is behind us, and we will get a chance to dry out as we head into the end of the week. A look at that forecast is coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. One of the hardest hit areas today is still recovering from being hit with an EF1 tornado just last month. It's the town of Western. This time, the fire department had to rescue people from their homes as floodwater rose early this morning. News Channel 2's Gary Liberatore reports.
Well, there is a lot of water all around the town of Western. A lot of rain came down overnight. We are here on Stokes Westernville Road, and check this out. This is one of a number of roads that are impassable.
A sign was put up on Main Street in the hamlet of Westernville in the town of Western after last month's EF1 tornado came through, where so many here helped take care of their own neighbors. Who knew a month later Mother Nature would have neighbors helping neighbors yet again? This time with water rescues at 5:30 in the morning as water surrounded a number of homes in different parts of town.
There were a couple of them where Hillside Road was, where the bridge had washed out. We did some rescues on the north side of the bridge, and obviously the bridge is gone, so we had to do the south side too. At one time it got pretty nerve-wracking. We went with hand lines and ropes and stuff to get the people out.
Luckily, no one lost their lives and no injuries were reported.
At 5:30 this morning, we got woke up to the sound of the river and the rocks rumbling through. We looked out the window and it was already coming through the yard. And as you can see by the house right there, by 6 o'clock, that was already moving out and down the road. And here we are 3 hours later, and it ain't let up a bit.
Those rains caused plenty of damage. A large garage-like storage shed floated away, and sections of a number of roadways washed away. One of the firefighters that came to the aid of others, a new young recruit.
16 years old, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Why?
Just to help out my community. I'm fourth generation and I love doing this. I've started when I was really young here. My father, I'd always be like, can I go to the firehouse? Can I go to the calls with you? Like, please.
And now you're going on them.
Now
right?
I'm going on them.
So 2 very chaotic days in 2 months for this young firefighter and her brothers and sisters in this department. But unlike a tornado, a flood you can kind of prepare for.
We anticipated that it was coming by the weather alerts that we get following on News Channel 2 and stuff, and so we kind of had an idea that it was going to hit maybe in the morning if it was, and we were prepared.
And that sign on Main Street says a lot. Definitely the folks here are Western tough. In the town of Western, Gary Liberatore, News Channel 2.
The town of Western Library is open right now for residents who need to use their computers or phones or just simply dry off. The director of the library, who had major damage to her own home during the tornado and is now staying elsewhere temporarily, says she knows how important it is for those who are struggling to have a place to turn for help.
To give everybody a place to go for emergency shelter, to be able to use the phones and the computers, and we have Wi-Fi available. And we have an area for the kids if they want to come and read books, and I have toys too.
The library will stay open until 8 tonight and may open tomorrow if needed. Normally, they're closed on Fridays.
Continuing coverage of a homicide.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening and welcome back. Our Storm Tracker 2 alert day continues as we're not quite out of the woods yet in terms of flooding. A lot of this water is moving into larger bodies of water. So rivers and streams are near full, if not seeing some flooding this evening. But most of us, at least in terms of flash flooding, that is not expected to be an issue here heading into tonight. Live look at our CAV tower cam as we look to the west. You can see just a dreary day. Seeing some on and off rain showers throughout most of the afternoon. The rain is generally light, but it will continue as we head into this evening as well as early tonight. This live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The very much leftovers of Fred have just stalled in our area, really just not going anywhere. And again, we will continue to see some showers and some drizzle as we head into tonight. It's really important to point out that the heavy rainfall is done, and we still have flooding that's happening now, but going forward without any significant rain in the forecast, floodwaters will gradually recede. But it's going to take time. These larger bodies of water that are near peak right now will be gradually receding over the next 2 days. In fact, most areas will fall below flood stage by Saturday. The one exception, though, is the West Canada Creek along Hinckley. It's going to take a little bit longer for the the rain to get to allow that to move through the area. Rome, 77. Whitesboro, 73 degrees. Big Moose, 67. Across Southern Valleys, humid. Temperatures in the low 70s. Cooperstown, 72. Skanevis checks in with 73. If you are taking the dog out for a walk this evening, the rain is generally light. Drizzle is around. Temperatures will be in the 70s, but it's going to be a dreary evening to take the dog for a walk. Tonight's featured dog is Peanut. If you want to be part of this, head to Bill's Buddies on Facebook. This is brought to you by Staffworks. High levels of humidity will continue as we head into the next several days. It is going to be warmer than it typically is for late August, with high temperatures in the low to mid 80s and overnight lows in the upper 60s. Radar and satellite image shows the leftovers of Fred just very slowly moving through our area. This is going to gradually move to the east, and eventually we will get a chance to at least see dry weather heading into tomorrow. I think with the high humidity, it's just going to take a long time to really dry out here in central New York. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight, patchy fog, drizzle, overnight lows drop down into the upper 60s. Tomorrow, most of the day looks cloudy, some breaks of sunshine, humid, and again, just very slowly trying to dry out. Temperatures will be in the low 80s. We do expect the weather to remain dry heading into tomorrow night. And Saturday, we do run the risk of a pop-up shower or perhaps a thunderstorm. Not looking at any widespread heavy rain. Temperatures will be climbing into the low to mid 80s. Drizzle, fog tonight, a low of 65. Tomorrow, getting a chance to see some dry weather, very humid, temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Tomorrow's also the first day of the New York State Fair, by the way. A few pop-up showers and storms possible over the weekend as well as Monday. Dry weather remaining humid heading into early next week with temperatures in the mid 80s. Kristen, coming up in a few minutes, we're taking a look at local rainfall totals over the past 24 hours.
All right, Bill, thank you. We have seen some wild weather, not just here, but coast to coast, from fires to floods. California wildfires are wild weather, not just here, but coast to coast, from fires to floods. California wildfires are growing more dangerous by the minute, and North Carolina is recovering from catastrophic flooding caused by Tropical Storm Fred. We get an update from reporter Katie Beck.
The search is on for dozens missing in flooded North Carolina.
It happened in a matter of about 45 minutes. The water went from just a normal flood to where it was 4 feet on the side of the house.
The town of Crusoe devastated by the raging waters, historic floods knocking out cell service and damaging roads and bridges.
Here in Canton, we have everything from businesses lost, our town hall, our police department, our fire department.
Remnants of Tropical Storm Fred wreaking havoc across the East Coast as heavy rains and flash flood warnings slam the Northeast and tornadoes leave a mess of debris in South Carolina and Georgia.
Came straight down, twisted up a bunch of trees, went straight back up and left.
Out west, wildfires are still raging.
Getting people out of the way of these fires is the best way for us to be able to protect your communities.
31,000 Californians now under evacuation orders.
I'm just really grateful for all the help people have been giving us.
Dangerous weather from coast to coast, bringing out the best in communities.
Coast to coast and again here at home, WKTV.com for a list of updated road closures because of the flooding. Still ahead, we're going to take you live to Whitesboro. We're going to check in on an area that's been evacuated far too many times. Also tonight, we're hearing from U.S. Capitol Police for the first time since a man claiming to have a bomb.
Lives in September 11th attacks. The Parkway Center in Utica and Verona Beach is collecting food for veterans in need. Organizers are hoping for 20,000 pounds of non-perishable food items and personal care items. The collection starts Sunday, and then on September 10th, they're asking for help sorting the donations.
They want to be able to do service to impact our community. So this service project and pulling volunteers together for the service project on the 10th is their way of giving back and contributing. We've had families come and bring their kids just because you never want to forget.
You can drop off donations August 22nd through September 9th at the Utica and Verona Beach locations. More chances to win the Powerball. New York State is adding a new drawing night. And when we come back, first to flood, but this time around, in spite of all the rain, they're doing okay. We're going to tell you who, surprisingly, when we come back.
Recapping your top stories tonight, Westernville residents are cleaning up after flooding overtook some neighborhoods. Check out that shed. It was moving across the flooded waters on River Road. The fire department rescued several people from their homes as the floodwaters surrounded the structures. Good news, no one was hurt.
Flooding in many parts of Oneida County overnight into this morning, but right now, water's rising in Rome. This is River Street, true to its name. The Mohawk River is now flooding the street, and a reminder tonight, never enter flooded roadways. You don't know if the pavement is washed out below. Good evening once again. A reminder, the most updated list of road closures for you right on our website, WKTV.com.
And good news to start this half hour, the Sequoia Creek is behaving. This is an area that always floods. A live look at Main Street, the bridge there in Whitesboro. A huge sigh of relief from Whitesboro residents who have been evacuated too many times. TAS Electronics has its webcam fixated on the Sequoia Creek to monitor the water levels. As you can see, the water is high, but it's not overflowing the banks. Downstream a bit, the CSX train bridge, another area of concern. Every time it rains, you can see no debris build up at the bridge, and the water continues to flow under.
You know, with what, we've had come down, clearly has not had the problems we've seen in the past, so that's the good news. While the water's high on the bridge, it hasn't, imploded into the neighborhoods or anything, so that's all a good sign.
Sequoia Creek flood mitigation continues. Just last week, we told you that the project is included in the infrastructure plan that passed the U.S. Senate. The money would replace the Main Street Bridge and the Route 69 bridge in Whitestown. This bill still needs to pass the House, however.
Getting you back to the Weather Center now, Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis with the rainfall totals from today.
Yeah, this is a look at rainfall over the past 24 hours. It does not include rain that fell earlier this week. About 2 to 3 inches or more of rain has fallen in the area. Point Rock, 3.37 inches. Woodgate, 2.5 inches. Piseco, 2.3 inches. Griffiths officially collecting more than 2 inches of rain over the past 24 hours. And Lawrence with close to 2 inches. Wanted to take a closer look at the records from the Delta Dam. Right now, the water level at Delta Dam is higher than it was even during the Halloween flood. This water level at the present moment is the highest ever recorded, about 2.25 feet above flood stage. And again, you can see some of the prior record crests on the screen. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We do have a few scattered showers in the area. In general, the showers will continue this evening and gradually come to an end tonight. We're not expecting much more additional rainfall, but it will take a very long time to dry out here as we head into tomorrow and into the start of the weekend. We are tracking some warm weather, though. Look at that forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. True to form, a zombie property in Utica just...
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening and welcome back. We remain in alert mode tonight as we continue to watch area rivers gradually rise and crest. So flooding is still a concern this evening, but it's becoming a lot more localized. And as we move forward, the floodwaters are expected to recede as we do not expect any heavy rain in the forecast, at least for the short term. Live look at our Mirabito Tower Cam overlooking Oneonta. You can see dreary conditions. Cloudy skies, light rain showers. That has been the name of the game throughout the course of today. At least the rain has been generally light throughout the course of the afternoon. And as we take a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, some scattered showers will linger around. The leftovers of Fred have stalled in our area as expected, bringing very unsettled conditions to the region. Eventually, this is going to lift to the east, but it is going to be a process. We really don't expect to see the rain come to an end until later this evening and into early tonight. Flooding happening now along larger bodies of water, and without any significant rain in the forecast, the floodwaters will gradually recede. A lot of bodies of water will fall below flood stage by Saturday. The one exception is the Hinckley Reservoir. That's expected to see the waters rise over the next 24 hours. Again, it just takes longer for larger bodies of water to feel the impact of heavy rainfall. And so we're expecting the Hinckley to get to near flood stage by Saturday. It's not expected to cause any big issues, but again, for those of you that live by this area, you'll be noticing the water continue to rise for the next 24 hours. Barneveld 73, Old Forge 71, Paynes Hollow 72, Mike in New Hartford with 73, picking up just shy of 2 inches of rain from the past 24 hours. Richfield Springs 75, Cooperstown 72. Kirsten in Whitesboro checks in with 74. The temperature trend, it is going to warm up. The last couple of days have been on the cooler side, at least temperatures in the 70s. Of course, it doesn't feel all that cool with the humidity. Temperatures will climb into the 80s over the next several days. Will be above our seasonal average. Typically this time of the year, high temperatures are in the upper 70s. So you look at the radar and satellite image. Again, the leftovers of Fred continue to slowly push to the east, and we do expect the weather to improve as we head into tomorrow. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, cloudy skies tonight. Be on the lookout for patchy fog. That could be an issue here late tonight and early tomorrow. We start out tomorrow morning with cloudy skies, some breaks of sunshine, and the weather looks generally dry. I think it's going to take a while to dry out, especially with the high humidity. I don't think we'll really do that fully tomorrow. Heading into tomorrow night, there will be a few scattered showers, and the chance of a pop-up shower or storm is in the forecast heading into Saturday. Drizzle and fog tonight down to 65. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, humid, temperatures in the low 80s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast, some hit or miss showers and storms as we head into the weekend. Temperatures will be in the low 80s. Monday, showers and storms 86. Sunshine as we look ahead to Tuesday and Wednesday. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're recapping the rainfall that has taken place across our area from what was left over of Tropical Storm Fred. We'll be right back.
Copeland, thanks for joining us. A number of communities across the region are dealing with flooding tonight after heavy rains came overnight and lighter rain throughout pretty much the entire day.
One of the hardest hit areas right now is the city of Rome. Take a look at this. The Mohawk River has now gone over its banks. This is River Street, true to its name. The Mohawk River now flooding the street, and it looks deep. A reminder tonight to never enter flooded roadways. You don't know if the pavement is washed out below.
First a tornado, now massive flooding. The town of Western is recovering once again.
The rain overnight crested waterways into streets, yards, and homes. Several people had to be evacuated. News Channel 2's Gary Liberatore joins us from Western with more.
Well, good evening. There are signs all around the town of Western from an EF1 tornado a month ago, but these are the signs of what happened today. This is Stokes Westernville Road right here, and it looks more like River Road.
They're proud and they're tough. The folks here in the hamlet of Westernville, in the town of Western, have proven it for the second time in a month.
We started to get calls about 5:30 this morning, and from there it started escalating and stuff.
Town of Western Fire Chief Mike Anania says it was a crazy and dangerous few hours this morning, including rescuing people from their homes in 3 different areas.
Those water surrounding all the houses and stuff, and the roadways and all that, and it kept rising, and so there was one family that we literally knocked on the door, woke up, and we had gotten them out.
And what did they say when you woke them up?
He was saying he didn't realize what was going on.
Other Westerners had a different kind of wake-up call.
At 5:30 this morning, we got woke up to the sound of the river and the rocks rumbling through. We looked out the window, and it was already coming through the yard. And as you can see by the house right there, by 6 o'clock, that was already moving out and down the road.
So the good news, no loss of life and no injuries reported, but plenty of sections of roadway washed away that may take some time to repair.
And this rain may not let up. What do you do from here?
We keep plugging away and answer the calls as they come in.
And talk about Western tough. Well, all the guys and gals here in this town are definitely earning their nickname here. In the town of Western, Gary Liberatore, News Channel 2.
The town library is open right now for anyone who needs to use a computer or a phone or simply dry off. The director of the town of Western Library, who had major damage when the tornado struck, says she knows how important it is for those who are struggling to have a place to turn to for help.
It's just really difficult to see the rain, the flooding in places that it wasn't before. And a family over on River Road that has a farm is just sitting tight watching, making sure their animals are okay right now.
The library is staying open until 8 o'clock tonight. It may reopen tomorrow if it's needed. Normally, they're closed on Fridays.
The worst may be behind us, or it may not. See, the Delta Dam, the Mohawk River, cresting at its highest level ever. That happened about 5 o'clock tonight. According to the National Weather Service, they issued a flood warning because of it. For the very latest now, let's go over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. He's tracking it all from the Weather Center. Good evening, Bill.
Yeah, that's right, Jason. Our alert day continues. We are keeping a very close eye on larger bodies of water this evening. Let's take a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Still dealing with a few scattered showers across our area, but the heavy rain is over. Right now, the issues are with those larger bodies of water. It takes time for the heavy rainfall to find its way into those larger bodies of water. And I specifically want to pass along some of the newest information this evening for the Delta Dam. It has crested around 5 o'clock. It looks like it's reached its highest level, and for the past hour it has stopped rising. But it is at its highest level that has been recorded, even higher than the Halloween flood, more than 2 feet above flood stage. Total rainfall from the past 24 hours from Fred, about 2 to 3 inches or more from many areas. Pasico, 2.3 inches. Griffiths picking up more than 2 inches. Point Rock, 3.37 inches of rainfall. Current temperature is 74 degrees. As we head into this evening, the rain is going to linger around, drizzle and fog, but it's not going to be heavy, at least not heavy enough to cause any additional issues. We continue to follow area rivers and streams and the flooding situation, and we're also taking a look at that forecast heading into the weekend. That's coming up. Kristen, back to you.
Good news for Whitesboro residents who know flooding all too well. No flooding this time around. This is a live look at the Main Street Bridge in Whitesboro. A huge sigh of relief from the residents who have been evacuated too many times. TAS Electronics has this webcam fixated on the Sequoia Creek to monitor the water levels. As you can see, it is high, but not overflowing its banks. Downstream a bit, this is the CSX train bridge, another area of concern anytime it rains. You can see no debris buildup at the bridge, and the water flows freely below. County officials have been keeping an eye on the situation since last night. Thankfully, they did not have to send a crew into the neighborhood here, but they are monitoring the situation and helping out the folks in the town of Western and beyond.
We've got crews up there working, and parts of Tabor, Camden, other parts of the county that normally we don't see, you know, the flooding issues that we've had. But certainly that part of the county got hit a little bit harder with heavier downpours, and that's why we're in that situation.
WKTV.com right now for the most updated list of road closures in the region.
Continuing coverage of a homicide in Canastota. The man accused.
York's most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening and welcome back. We continue to keep an eye on area rivers that have reached their crest. So flooding is still taking place in our area. Let's take a live look outside. Our CAV Tower Cam is looking to the west. We have some scattered showers that are still lingering, and the rain is going to continue as we head into this evening and early tonight. But we're not expecting any rain to instigate any additional flooding, as the rain is not expected to be heavy enough. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Fred stalled over our area, and that's why we're still seeing the leftovers of this system as it very slowly heads to the east. Delta Dam right now is higher than it's been since record keeping has begun for this particular location. Yes, even higher than the Halloween flood. At that point, it was a 1.5 feet above flood stage. It is presently 2.25 feet above flood stage. So water is heading into places that it's never gone, at least for this particular spot. Right now, we've been following this river very closely. It has reached the maximum, and it's going to slowly start to recede over the next 24 to 48 hours, falling below flood stage likely sometime Saturday. And that's true for many larger bodies of water across the area. Again, seeing some flooding taking place in some of those larger bodies. And one place that is going to see things play out a little bit differently is the Hinckley Reservoir. We're expecting the waters to gradually rise. Right now it's 2.5 feet below flood stage, but this area could get near flood stage by Saturday. Again, a delay for some of those largest bodies of water in the area. Barneveld 73 degrees, Paints Hollow 72, Inlet 68, West Leyden 72. Temperatures in the low 70s across the southern valleys, Richfield Springs 75 degrees. We do get some dry weather in the forecast. Tomorrow is looking completely dry and warmer. Temperatures over the past few days have been in the 70s, but it is going to warm up. High temperatures in the low to mid 80s over the next several days. The leftovers of Fred will continue to slide to the east, and we will eventually see some drier weather as we head into tomorrow as well as tomorrow night. As we look at our Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, some drizzle this evening. Be on the lookout for patchy fog. We have lots of humidity in place, and the stage is set for some pretty thick fog overnight. Heading into the day tomorrow, clouds are going to linger around, but the weather is expected to be dry. We may not dry out, but at least we're expecting dry weather. Temperatures will climb into the low to mid 80s. The weather remains dry tomorrow night. Things start to change by Saturday, at least the chance of a passing shower or storm. Temperatures climb into the mid 80s. Drizzle, some fog tonight, a low of 65. A warm and very humid day tomorrow, mostly cloudy and dry with highs in the low 80s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Tomorrow is also the first day of the New York State Fair, by the way. Scattered showers and storms for Saturday and Sunday. We're not expecting any widespread heavy rainfall, but we will have to keep an eye on those just based on how much rain we've had lately. Scattered showers and storms Monday, dry weather Tuesday and Wednesday. Temperatures remain above average over the next 7 days. Back over to you.
Thank you, Bill. Still to come on News Channel 2 at SAC, a local effort is underway in memory of those who lost their lives in September 11th terrorist attacks.
The Parkway Center is collecting food for veterans in need at both its Utica and Verona Beach locations. Organizers are hoping for 20,000 pounds of non-perishable food items and personal care items. The collection begins on Sunday, and on September 10th, they're asking for help sorting the donations.
So we need help from the community, and we have such a giving community that's always come out and donated. We will commence our project on September 10th with a volunteer project. They will sort all the donations we collect in the 20 days.
Again, you can drop off donations starting this Sunday, August 22nd, through September 9th, again at the Utica and Verona Beach locations.
Earlier today, as the mayor, Jackie Izzo, has declared a state of emergency for the city due to flooding issues occurring throughout the city as a result of that heavy rainfall, swelling of Lake Delta and the Mohawk River and Wood Creek. Unbelievable pictures here coming out of Rome tonight. Behind me, Pinty Field. Great shots sent in by viewer Colin Michael. This is East Dominic Street in Rome, flooded out. Firefighters literally carrying children from their homes, some folks just walking away in knee-deep water. The mayor tells me they are going door to door in affected areas to get people out. We're going to hear from her in just a moment. First, more video. This is video from Floyd Avenue at the Colonial Park Rehabilitation and Nursing Center. The parking lot there flooded. We're told residents are not in any danger there. And this is East Bloomfield Street in Rome. That's Staley Elementary School. You're going to see in just a second the entire parking lot underwater, water rushing. Now, the mayor tells us if you are unable to seek shelter with family or friends in the affected areas, the Rome City School District and the Rome Local Red Cross have opened up a shelter at RFA. She says that you should contact Rome Police, and the number is right there on your screen, 315-339-7780, and directions will be provided.
Well, unfortunately, we have to wait for the water to recede, so for now, we're going to offer supportive help. We are pumping cellars where we can help. For people that are displaced, we will get them in touch with the Red Cross, who hopefully can help them with overnight accommodations and whatever else they might need. And then we'll see where we go from here. But we don't think there's going to be a quick resolution because of the water level at Lake Delta. This is going to take more than a day to really recede off.
This is the biggest issue that we're talking about now, the levels at Lake Delta, and that's the Delta Dam, and you could see the water rushing there. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis now. These are the two scenarios that we need to lay out here for two different cities tonight. Explain this for me, Bill.
Yeah, first, the biggest issues right now taking place right downstream of Delta Dam, which hit the historic water levels, even higher than the Halloween flooding. This is where it's going to be very bad here heading into tonight, but all this water eventually works its way down stream. This would eventually move into the city of Utica as we head into tonight. Although this is going to spread out, so the downstream impacts will not be as severe as what we're seeing now, but still, residents along the Mohawk River need to be on standby tonight for the possibility of flooding. And again, it's going to take several hours for all of this water to move its way downstream. So again, this is going to be a long duration event, at least another 24 hours where we'll be keeping a very close eye on things. At least we're not getting any more additional rain. The rain has let up, just a couple of sprinkles out there, and so there is some good news there. As we look at our current temperature at 72 degrees heading into tonight, we're looking at some drizzle and some patchy fog, but again, most of the rain's over. Overnight lows drop down into the mid-60s. We are tracking some nicer weather as we start the weekend. Look at that forecast is coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Now, earlier in the day, we were in the town of Western. They're still recovering from being hit from that EF1 tornado just last month. And this time, the fire department had to rescue people from their homes as flood water rose early this morning. News Channel 2's Gary Liberatore reports.
Well, there is a lot of water all around the town of Western. A lot of rain came down overnight. We are here on Stokes Westernville Road, and check this out. This is one of a number of roads that are impassable.
A sign was put up on Main Street in the hamlet of Westernville in the town of Western after last month's EF1 tornado came through, where so many here helped take care of their own neighbors. Who knew a month later Mother Nature would have neighbors helping neighbors yet again? This time with water rescues at 5:30 in the morning as water surrounded a number of homes in different parts of town.
There were a couple of them where Hillside Road was, where the bridge had washed out. We did some rescues on the north side of the bridge, and obviously the bridge is gone, so we had to do the south side too. At one time it got pretty nerve-wracking. We went with hand lines and ropes and stuff to get the people out.
Luckily, no one lost their lives and no injuries were reported.
At 5:30 this morning, we woke up to the sound of the river and the rocks rumbling through. We looked out the window and it was already coming through the yard. And as you can see by the house right there, by 6 o'clock, that was already moving out and down the road. And here we are 3 hours later, and it ain't let up a bit.
Those rains caused plenty of damage. A large garage-like storage shed floated away, and sections of a number of roadways washed away. One of the firefighters that came to the aid of others, a new young recruit.
16 years old, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Why?
Just to help out my community. I'm fourth generation and I love doing this. I've started when I was really young here. My father, I'd always be like, can I go to the firehouse? Can I go to the calls with you? Like, please.
And now you're going on them.
Now I'm going on them.
So 2 very chaotic days in 2 months for this young firefighter and her brothers and sisters in this department. But unlike a tornado, a flood you can kind of prepare for.
We anticipated that it was coming by the weather alerts that we get following on News Channel 2 and stuff, and so we kind of had an idea that it was going to hit maybe in the morning if it was, and we were prepared.
And that sign on Main Street says a lot. Definitely the folks here are Western tough. In the town of Western, Gary Liberatore, News Channel 2.
And we will continue to follow all of the flooding that's going on in Rome in that area throughout the newscast and into tomorrow morning on Sunrise. Oneida County resident.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening and welcome back. We're taking a live look outside from our CAV Tower Cam overlooking the city of Utica. Getting a chance to very slowly dry out as we head into tonight. It's a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. And again, we're looking at pretty quiet weather. Just a couple of sprinkles showing up, especially east of Utica. But the steady, heavy rain is now over with. Today was a history maker for Delta Lake. The Delta Dam recording the highest ever water level along the lake. This is about 6 inches higher than the previous crest on May 24th, 2004. This is even higher than the levels we've experienced for the Halloween flood. The levels are starting to come down about 3 inches from its height. It crested around 6 o'clock this evening, but it is still causing all kinds of major issues downstream. Rome is a mess, and all that flood water will eventually work its way down the Mohawk River and impact areas like Marcy and Utica. Again, folks along the Mohawk River wants to be on guard here heading into tonight because we're not done with the flooding yet. The water levels will likely start to rise before they recede. This is also true with Hinckley. We've been watching and monitoring the stream levels along Hinckley, the West Canada Creek at the dam. The levels have been coming up. We actually think there's going to be some minor flooding along the West Canada Creek here, just because there's a much larger delay in heavy rainfall versus this rain filling up these larger bodies of water. So again, do expect the levels of water to rise along the West Canada Creek as well, but it's going to be gradual. We're not expecting any big issues here over the next 2 days, and then the waters will start to come down beginning late Saturday and into Sunday. Our local weather, the big story going forward, we get away from the rain, but the humidity is going to stick around. It is going to be very humid here over the next several days. And we are keeping an eye on the end of rain as this continues to head to the east. The leftovers of Fred move away from us. We will be dry tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the mid-60s tomorrow. Finally, a completely dry day. Some sunshine, late temperatures in the low to mid-80s. Tomorrow night, the weather looks dry as well, and just a few scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible heading into Saturday afternoon. We're not expecting any region-wide heavy rainfalls over the next several days. Drizzle, fog tonight, low of 65. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and humid, but again, dry. Temperatures in the low 80s. Tomorrow's also the start of the New York State Fair, high of 83. Scattered showers and storms Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Again, stressing, not widespread, not really heavy. Temperatures in the mid-80s, dry on Tuesday and Wednesday. More chances for storms looking ahead to Thursday. Jason.
Bill, thank you. We are continuing to follow the breaking news out of the city of Rome. The mayor issuing a state of emergency due to flooding issues occurring throughout the city as a result of that heavy rainfall. The swelling of Lake Delta, as you just heard from Bill, in the Mohawk River and Wood Creek. Now, Rome Fire and Police Departments are advising residents in the affected areas to evacuate immediately for their health and safety. If you are unable to seek shelter with family or friends, the Rome City School District and the local Red Cross have opened up a shelter at RFA Academy for those displaced as a result of flooding. You can contact Rome Police Department. Right there is the number, 315-339-7780, and directions will be provided. More news straight ahead. As the Mohawk bring that breaking news tonight, Rome Mayor Jackie Izzo has declared a state of emergency for the city of Rome due to flooding issues occurring throughout the city as a result of that heavy rainfall, swelling Lake Delta and the Mohawk River and Wood Creek. Unbelievable pictures you can see behind me coming out of Rome. That's Pinty Field. Great shots here by a viewer, Colin Michael. We thank him for sending those in. This is East Dominic Street now in Rome, flooded out. Firefighters literally carrying children from homes. Some folks just even walking away in knee-deep water. The mayor tells me they are going door to door in affected areas to get people out. If you're unable to seek shelter with family or friends in those areas, the Rome City School District and the local Red Cross have set up a shelter at RFA. The mayor is asking that you contact the Rome Police Department, and I've got that number right there on your screen, 315-339-7780. If you need directions, they will be provided. Mayor Jackie Izzo joining me now live on the phone with the very latest. Mayor, I know you're very busy tonight, so I thank you for taking a few moments. Can you give us an update, a status update on where the city is right now?
So, Jason, we are fully in disaster mode here. We've gotten most of our streets evacuated where the water has flooded the homes. Many people have taken shelter at Rome Free Academy. The school district and the Red Cross worked to set up a shelter there. We thank them for that. They put on a hot meal at 9 o'clock. They plan to do breakfast in the morning. So cots are available. So I think it should be a very comfortable place tonight. We expect the water to run a little bit more for the next couple of hours and hopefully begin to level off and recede overnight. We do think that we will be in this mode of the streets being closed until the water recedes, probably well into the day tomorrow. We have quite a few areas in the city that are impeded with water, but we have safely evacuated almost everyone that needed to be evacuated. And if anyone does not have shelter, needs a ride to RFA, they can always come to the fire station, Central Fire Station, or to call the police department, and we will arrange transportation.
This just seemed to catch everybody a little bit off guard. We knew that there was going to be heavy rains, but really what's happening at Delta has really affected the city.
So we've had several conversations tonight, especially with several people at Canals. And basically what happened is last night, as everyone knows, this is the remnants of Fred, the tropical storm, came up through the Finger Lakes over to Syracuse, through the Camden area, and then it just kind of settled over Lake Delta for hours and just poured rain onto the lake and the dam area. I think we're going to set a record for the highest water level we've seen at Lake Delta, maybe by about 6 inches. So the water has to have somewhere to go. So it started coming over the dam, and unfortunately, because it flows downstream, it started to swell the Mohawk River, the Wood Creek, and eventually there was so much water that it broke the beds of the river and started to come into the city. And that's how we ended up with the flood conditions.
Mayor, just one last question. Where do we go from here?
So we will, when people wake up tomorrow, we will still have several streets that will be closed, and that will be obvious why. There will still be water there. We're hoping that we will have our shelter open. We will keep it open until we don't need it anymore. We don't know what the status is until tomorrow, really, about when people can get back into their homes. We have the power off in all of those areas to those individual homes for safety reasons. There's quite a bit of water that has seeped into people's cellars. So we'll have to see as it recedes back. Our fire department has been helping out tonight, helping people to pump cellars where that's needed, and we certainly will be available tomorrow and the next day. So we really have to wait and see now how long it takes for the water to actually run off, and so we can get clear streets and start getting homes that people can get into and cellars that we can get pumped out.
Mayor Izzo, I know you've got a long night ahead, and I really appreciate you taking the time, and we will catch up with you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Mayor Jackie Izzo. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis now. Twofold. They're dealing with this in Rome, and then they're going to have to deal with it down the Mohawk as well, right?
Yeah, and that's where we're taking over from here. Where does all of this heavy flooding go? Eventually, it's going to work its way down along the Mohawk River. So if you live along the Mohawk River, here's some towns mentioned here, including Utica. You're going to want to be on guard as we head into tonight. We think that the river levels are going to crest overnight and into early tomorrow morning. So again, be on standby if you live along the Mohawk. Let's take a look at this graphic here to show you the locations that will be seen flooding over the next 12 hours. It's also important to point out that downstream of a major flooding event, it's not usually as bad. The water has time to spread out, but still, flooding seems to be a very likely thing to take place here as we head into the next 12 hours. We're not quite done with this yet, and we have other rivers that we're going to be talking about as well that we've been keeping a very close eye on water levels this evening. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Thankfully, the heavy rain has come to an end, and we are seeing clearing skies and a current temperature of 70. Tonight, just some light drizzle, some patchy fog, but the weather does dry out. We're taking a look at the weekend forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. I just got off the phone with Whitesboro Mayor Bob Friedlander. He tells me that the village of Whitesboro is under a state of emergency now because of the concerns of water from Lake Delta coming down the Mohawk River in the early morning hours of tomorrow. Also, the city of Utica issued a press release just moments ago. They tell us in communication with state officials, flooding is imminent in the vicinity of the Utica Harbor, including several feet of water in the areas of Genesee Street and the Warehouse District around Wurz Ave and Leland Ave, along other low-lying areas adjacent to the Mohawk River. The city urging individuals who have parked their vehicles in these areas to move them to avoid flood damage. We'll have the very latest on News Channel 2 at sunrise with Katrina Smith and meteorologist Jill Reel starting at 5 a.m. Earlier in the day, we were in the town of Western, which is still recovering from being hit with an EF1 tornado last month. But this time, the fire department had to rescue people from their homes as floodwater rose early this morning. News Channel 2's Gary Liberatore has that story.
Well, there is a lot of water all around the town of Western. A lot of rain came down overnight. We are here on Stokes Westernville Road, and check this out. This is one of a number of roads that are impassable.
A sign was put up on Main Street in the hamlet of Westernville in the town of Western after last month's EF1 tornado came through, where so many here helped take care of their own neighbors. Who knew a month later Mother Nature would have neighbors helping neighbors yet again? This time with water rescues at 5:30 in the morning as water surrounded a number of homes in different parts of town.
There were a couple of them where Hillside Road was, where the bridge had washed out. We did some rescues on the north side of the bridge, and obviously the bridge is gone, so we had to do the south side too. At one time it got pretty nerve-wracking. We went with hand lines and ropes and stuff to get the people out.
Luckily, no one lost their lives and no injuries were reported.
At 5:30 this morning, we woke up to the sound of the river and the rocks rumbling through. We looked out the window and it was already coming through the yard. And as you can see by the house right there, by 6 o'clock, that was already moving out and down the road. And here we are 3 hours later, and it ain't let up a bit.
Those rains caused plenty of damage. A large garage-like storage shed floated away, and sections of a number of roadways washed away. One of the firefighters that came to the aid of others, a new young recruit.
16 years old, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Why?
Just to help out my community. I'm fourth generation, and I love doing this. I've started when I was really young here. My father, I'd always be like, can I go to the firehouse? Can I go to the calls with you? Like, please.
And now you're going on them.
Now I'm going on them.
So 2 very chaotic days in 2 months for this young firefighter and her brothers and sisters in this department. But unlike a tornado, a flood you can kind of prepare for.
We anticipated that it was coming by the weather alerts that we get following on News Channel 2 and stuff. And, you know, so we kind of had an idea that it was going to hit maybe in the morning if it was, and we were prepared.
And that sign on Main Street says a lot. Definitely the folks here are Western tough. In the town of Western, Gary Liberatore, News Channel 2.
Coming up on News Channel 2 at 11, we are flooding in Rome. What you need to know if you live near a flood area, phone numbers as well as where you can go if you need shelter. Bill.
We're keeping a close eye
on New York's most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening and welcome back. We're taking a live look outside from our Cabby Terracam. We're looking into our parking lots, and patchy fog has developed, and that's going to be around first thing tomorrow morning. Things have finally quieted down. At least the steady heavy rain has now lifted to the east, and we will get a chance to slowly dry out over the next couple of days. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We hit a record high level at the Delta Dam today. This record beats even the Halloween flood and the previous record set back in 2004, officially a little over 2 feet above flood stage. That was recorded around 5 to 6 o'clock this evening, and the levels have started to go down, down about 3 inches from the record high. Flooding continues to happen across the area. We're going to keep a very close eye on, of course, the Mohawk River as that floodwaters continue to move downstream, affecting Marcy, Utica. So if you live by the Mohawk River, do plan on seeing some flooding tonight. We're not expecting it to be as bad as it is in Rome because, again, that water will gradually spread out and it will take its time working its way down stream. We're also keeping an eye on the West Canada at Hinkley Dam. We've been noticing that the levels have been rising and continue to rise. It takes longer for these larger bodies of water to feel the impact of the heavy rain that we experienced earlier today. We are expecting near or just above flood stage for the West Canada Creek. We're not expecting any big issues, but there's going to be a delay here. So again, if you live by the West Canada Creek, just keep an eye on things here heading into tomorrow as well as Saturday. I think by Saturday afternoon and certainly Saturday night, a lot of these larger bodies of water will fall below flood stage. Looking ahead, humid conditions expected over the next several days, but again, we do get a chance to see some dry weather in our future as the leftovers of Fred continue to head to the east. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, some patchy fog, overnight lows in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, we're looking at dry weather. Clouds give way to some sunshine, humid temperatures in the low to mid 80s. A few scattered showers are possible on Saturday, maybe even a few thunderstorms. Nothing widespread, nothing heavy. Temperatures will climb into the mid 80s. Drizzle, some fog tonight, a low of 65 tomorrow. Mostly cloudy and humid with temperatures in the low 80s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. First day of the New York State Fair is tomorrow. It should be a nice day, 83 for the high. Over the weekend, some scattered showers and storms, as well as Monday. Looking at some sunshine and dry weather on Tuesday and Wednesday. Jason.
Thank you, Bill. Continue to follow that breaking news out of the city of Rome. The mayor issuing a state of emergency due to the flooding of the Mohawk River. If you are unable to seek shelter with family or friends, there is a shelter at Rome Free Academy for those displaced. You can call Rome Police. The phone number right there on your screen, 339-7780. Whitesboro Mayor Bob Friedlander tells me that the village of Whitesboro now under a state of emergency because of those flooding concerns coming down the Mohawk River early tomorrow morning. Also, the city of Utica issued a press release saying that flooding is imminent in the vicinity of Utica Harbor, including several feet of water in areas of Genesee Street and the Warehouse District, as well as Wirtz Ave and Leland Ave. Be on alert. The latest on Sunrise tomorrow morning. Sports is next.